to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy to be back. And so for those of you that are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you'll stay. Please remember to hit that red subscription button down below and join this wonderful community of empowered and informed women. The weather is pretty good. I know it's been cold the past month, and I think I love this weather better. I love it when it's warmer. You know, it really got cold, and I think because of that I also developed some gases which have been going on and about, I think, for a week plus now. And so I'm really loving this new weather. I remember when I was a young girl, you know, someone taught me this analogy that as women or as girls, we are like tomatoes in a marketplace. I think all of us have been to the market at one point or another in our lives. You know, there are tomatoes, vegetables that are being sold just in the open, and yeah, so that customers can see and just pick what they want. You know, it's a form of advertising. Anyways, yeah, so someone taught me this analogy that as women and girls, we are like tomatoes in a marketplace. And you know, the thing with tomatoes is it's not really a durable vegetable. I don't know if it's a vegetable or a fruit, but I know a tomato is a fruit. It's not really a durable fruit. It easily gets rotten. And so I was taught that, you know, for instance, someone is selling tomatoes in a marketplace. They say they start selling in the morning, right? And different clients come, you know, asking about the tomatoes. So this one comes, how much are these tomatoes? Touches them, puts them back and doesn't buy them. Another one comes, touches them, puts them back and doesn't buy them. At the end of the day, what will happen to those tomatoes? And I was taught that eventually those tomatoes will become soft and the value of them will go down. And so I was taught this analogy to say that as women and girls, we are like that. We have this thing of where anyone, you know, any man or any guy can have access to you. At the end of the day, your value will go down. So as women, I think we need to be guarded. We need to guard ourselves. And I think that helped me, you know, a lot, because I was such a guarded person that it used to irritate some people. You know, for me, even just hugging anyhow, I couldn't do that. I think it helped me and saved me in a lot of ways, and I'm really grateful, you know, for having those people in my life. Just people who took it up on themselves to, you know, to give you advice here and there. And so today's video has been inspired, I think, by something that I saw on TikTok today. I'd initially planned to you know, to do a different topic, but after seeing what I saw on TikTok, on Facebook, I think it's everywhere now, you know. And so I decided to make a video about, not really about that, but in connection to that. You know, there's this video that has gone viral, this older guy and this young girl. You know, I think most of us know the video that I'm talking about. And for me, I believe that as an adult, in any situation whatsoever, as long as you are older in age and experience, you need to know better and also to do better. So for me, it doesn't matter if, yeah, this girl also consented and the like. I think people, I know, like, the benchmark for adulthood is being 18 years and above, but we know that at that age, you know, we are not really a person is not really fully matured, because they just have that insufficient experience to even make informed and sound decisions for themselves. So looking at the guy in this more like scandal, I think he is the older one, and obviously he should have known better and decided better for himself and the young girl that is involved. And I think in such a situation, you know, the law is limited, because, like I've mentioned, adulthood according to law is 18 years and above, and it is believed that when you're at that age, you are eligible to make decisions for yourself, such as, you know, drinking alcohol, dating whoever you want. You're not really under anyone's guidance or anything like that. But for me, I believe really for that person being an adult in that situation, you should have really just decided better. I mean, it's just, I don't even know the words to say. It's just, I think it's really just nasty at the end of the day. Sorry to say that, but it's just nasty that, you know, a grown-up person like that with fully blown experience about life would really just go for someone who is his daughter's age or even younger, you know. And I think as a society, when we see such vices, and you know, I think there are a lot of things that go on in private that we don't get to see as people, that things are not really exposed in the public eye. So there are a lot of bad things that are going on in the background, but when something comes on the surface like that situation, I think as people, as individuals, as a society, and as the government, this is something that really should be addressed. Now, away from that away from that topic, I today's topic is about waiting on God's time. I think one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life is really just waiting for God's time. I think for those of you that have been glued on this channel, one of the earliest videos that I put out, I talk about how I turned 30, you know, I was unmarried, I didn't have any kids, and how that made me feel, and you know, just my experience with all the frustrations that I experienced during that particular moment in my life. And you know, it's really hard. I think Nonda have mentioned waiting on God is just one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And I can just imagine, you know, for someone out there who's waiting for God's timing, because God's time is not like our time. God's timing is not like our timing. And so this also reminds me of a sermon that I recently listened to on Facebook. So all these things I'm saying are related to the topic for today. So the sermon was about dwelling in God's time zone, you know. And the sermon went like, you know, when Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, they ran away from God and hid themselves. And God asked Adam, where are you? And he quickly said, we hid ourselves because we were afraid. So this sermon was basically saying that, you know, one of the first consequences of sin, or one of the cancers of sin, is fear, you know, fear of the unknown. And so what made Adam and Eve really guilty, not that they were naked, but that they were afraid, you know. And so that fear drove them to hide from the one that could help them from that situation and in that situation. And so I feel that for most young girls today, you know, it's really, they're really driven with fear, this fear of the unknown, this fear of being left out, this fear of, you know, not being cool, this fear of not really having, not looking nice, not having the clothes that are in fashion and the like. And also one of the things that I believe that making our young girls do some of these things is the thing of waiting on God's timing. I think it's okay to be ambitious, it's okay to have goals in life, but also we must be mindful of the rate at which we want to attain those goals. I remember when I bought my first car, when I got my first job, I said, what am I going to do with my salary? And so I started to say, okay, I'll buy my first car. And I remember I never really used to touch my salary. I would save up, I think, almost 95% of that salary so that I could achieve that goal. And that took me like 2 years plus doing that. For me, it's okay to have ambitions, to have goals and whatever in life, but it's also important to do things that we can manage at a particular time. You know, it's okay to want things, it's okay to want this and that, it's okay to be in tune with the latest trends on the scene. But also, while we are doing that, I think we must be patient with ourselves, we must trust the process and just wait. The Bible says every good and perfect gift comes from God. It's God's will to give us good things. No wonder they say that God does not withhold things from us, but he withholds things for us, meaning that whatever God is keeping from us, it is for our own benefit, and not really that God wants to hurt us or to injure us or anything like that. So for me, I also feel that as parents, we must step up. You know, the world has become really a scary place for girls, you know, because there's so much competition, everything. We live in a society that is fast paced, you know, information is just on our fingertips, and you know, like in terms of keeping up with the trends, you know, everything is moving so fast. And so I think as parents, we must step up in our role. And I think most of our parents are still have this rigid thing, you know, because they grew up in a different generation. They feel that they need to to withhold certain things from their children so that they don't go wayward. I'll give an example of a phone. You know, there are parents out there who still think that child in school to have a phone, it will hinder them studying or from paying attention in school. So parents tend to get their children phones after they are done with high school. But I feel that, for me, I think that, you know, in this age, I think it's okay. A phone is just one of those basic needs right now, and I think as parents, we must try by all means to be there for you know, especially for our daughters, to be there and just provide their basic needs, you know, things like clothes. And I think as women, this is what led the entire world into. We easily get attracted to things. We want this, we want that, we want whatever, we want everything at once. And it's good to have self-control, but you know, it's really hard for women. We want a lot of things as girls and as women. And I think that for parents, it's important that they step up and just provide, you know, those needs, little needs and wants that their daughters have, so that they don't go out there and, you know, sell their bodies in order to acquire some of this. There are men out there who are willing to give young girls anything, because in my opinion, I think for most men out there, they feel that it's easier dating girls who are younger than them because they can exert control on them. You know, I know the young girls out there may say, what is she talking about? I mean, I'm in charge, I'm in control, you know, I call the shots in this relationship. But girl, you know, like I remember back then I read somewhere where it said that, I think it must be one of those Jehovah's Witness books, I think, questions young people ask. I don't know if it was in that book where I read or somewhere else, I'm not sure, but I read that, you know, when it comes to dating someone who's older than you, they are manipulative. And when you're dealing with a manipulative person, you always think that you're in charge, when really that other person is the one who is calling the shots, you know. So I feel that most older men prefer to date young girls because of the naivety that they have with them, and the relationship is much easier like that, you know, because you can't come to someone who is matured and say, let's have this thing. You know, that person will just tell you off to your face and, you know, make demands. And I feel that the reason why most men go for these young girls is because they can easily manipulate them, and also, you know, they know that they can easily just provide the little needs that they have and get away with whatever. And so for me, I'm making this video not to give anyone advice or anything like that, but to just put it out there, say, as young women and girls, we must learn to value ourselves, you know, because for me, I know that this is the only life that you have. And you know, life is a gift. When you go in these hospitals and see how people are striving, suffering for that breath of life, you realize that indeed having this life and being in good health, it's really a gift. And it being a gift, it's something that we must tender, it's something that we must care for and hold so dearly. And it's not really something that we must, you know, we must allow every Jim and Jack to have access to. And I think as young women and girls, we must protect ourselves, protect our bodies. We must remain guarded until we know that we can trust our hearts with someone who can take care of of us, or take care of our hearts, our emotions, and everything in the same way that we'll take care of ourselves. I'm not saying that you should be rigid, you should feel that you're more important than others. No, I'm just saying that I think it's important as young women and girls, especially if you're single, to have some standards to hold some standards with you, because when you don't have standards for yourself, anyone will come and treat you however they want, and I remember a time when okay, many instances, there were these people that wanted to date me, and every time you'd ask them, okay, okay, fine, you want to take me out on a date, fine, where are we going for a date? Someone would mention this place, a tavern or whatever. Like, come on, and for me, such dates, I would turn them down, because being a first date, why would someone take you to a drinking place? Why would someone take you to a hidden place? So for me, those were red flags, and I wouldn't even like continue having conversations with these people, because someone doesn't value you, hasn't put in that much effort in acquiring you as a girlfriend. And so it's really important that the value that we place on ourselves is the same value that God has placed on ourselves. Imagine that God sent his son. Literally, God came himself. He left heaven, came down to earth to die for you and me. So the same value that Jesus Christ places on your life is the same value that you should place on your life. And so for me, I feel that as young women and girls out there, it's important that we wait on God's timing. I know it's so frustrating, like it's so, I don't even know which words to use, but I've been there myself in that waiting process, because we live in this generation where everything has to be done here and now, but God doesn't operate like that. With God, you need to wait. God works on character, because when your character is built up, whatever God will give you, that character is the one that will sustain that thing which God will give you. So it's very important to trust the process, and in that process we learn and grow, and in the end you realize that the things that you think that you want are not really the things that you actually need. And so that waiting allows us to more like sieve our wants and needs. As time goes by, you realize that I think that person I wanted, that person I was praying for, is not really the right person for me, because in that waiting on God's timing, God will reveal certain things about that person that you think would make a wonderful husband for you or a wonderful boyfriend for you. So it's very important to wait on God's timing, however long that takes. Girl, I've been there. Like, it's so frustrating. Waiting is one of the frustrating things you could ever do in life. But in as much as I'm talking about waiting, I'm not talking about that dormant type of waiting. Since you're waiting on God, let me just sit around, let me just have those pity parties. No, girl, you have to, in those waiting moments, you have to do something about your life. You need to continue growing as a person. You need to, that is the time to actually date yourself, to romanticize your life, to do the things that you've always wanted to do those things that being in a relationship would not actually afford you to do them. So it's actually a time that you really just date yourself, get to know yourself. And I'm not talking about having that sick self-love. No, I'm just talking about really just getting to know yourself better, doing that self-introspection, getting to know yourself better, getting to know your needs, your wants, your fears, and everything that you need to know about yourself, so that you can make better decisions for yourself. Because whatever decision that we make in our lives, we make them based on our needs as individuals. We know that they say when it comes to dating, we all have a type, and that type is according to our needs. If you feel that this person will meet your needs, then you would actually choose to date that person. So I made this video because I felt upset when I saw that video, because you know, that is a life of a young girl. That's a life of a young girl that has been ruined. First of all, her reputation has been ruined, and you know, when these scandals come on the scene, the guy's name is easily forgotten. But for girls, you know, the story will always resurface. This is the girl that was involved. No matter what you do in life, your name will always that scandal that you had in the past will always resurface and taint your reputation. So I feel for the young girl, because first of all, her reputation has been tainted for whichever period, I don't know. And secondly, I feel that she's been traumatized, you know. In life, whatever we do, you know, that makes us sell our dignity, that makes us sell our self-worth, really just traumatizes us without us realizing that this thing has traumatized you. But in the future, you know, that thing will keep haunting you, it will keep eating you up inside, and it's not good to live like that, you know. And yeah, and thirdly, I think I feel for these girls' parents. I know every parent out there, they try their best, you know, to be there for their children, to you know, to help them have a bright future, to provide for whatever they need. But then it's just this generation that we are living in, and it's very sad, you know. And I think for me, I believe that with anything that we do in life, you know, it's not up to peer pressure, because you are this group of friends, that's why you ended up ruined, or because you didn't decide better for yourself, or you came from a broken home. I think at the end of the day, it's a matter of prayer. You know, prayer really saves us from harm's way, things unseen harm. Like I mentioned in the previous video, prayer saves us from unseen harm. And I remember also for myself, you know, I'm not sitting here trying to portray this picture that I've always done the right thing in my life. No, I think I remember there were times when I also had those falling out. I had those times when I just got tired of waiting and wanted to do my own thing. But I know that, I feel that in those moments when I wanted to go wayward, God's hand would always hold me and put me right back on track. Because for me, I believe in the power of prayer, and prayer is very important in my life, because it saved me from unseen harm, and really God has just been there on my side, holding my hand. And I believe it's because of prayer. And so it's important for us as parents. I know we do our best to make sure that our children have the best and make the best decision for themselves, but it's important to also, you know, add prayer in our efforts, you know. So at the end of the day, it's not really about what we do, or what we decide, who we play with, who we hang out with. Really, at the end of the day, it's just by God's grace that that we are here, and that, you know, we make better decisions, and God is always there redirecting us. And some things may frustrate us, may upset us, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's just the power of God, you know, the hand of God leading us. And so this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Hope you found this video to be informative, and if this is something that you can relate to, please remember to drop me a comment down below, and to give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate, you know, that thumbs up, because like I mentioned, like I keep saying, you know, when you give this video a thumbs up, it really just helps to increase the visibility of this channel, you know. And also it will help me to grow this channel, which is actually my hope for this channel. My hope for this channel is to actually have more subscribers. So thank you so much, guys. And if you're new here, remember to hit that red subscription button down below. And for those of you that are not new here, thank you so much, guys, for your support. I really appreciate, and see you in my next video.